Class is in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC Guy, and TradeFly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning and welcome to Piper Academy. We got Bitcoin coming in, trying to fight back to $67,000 right now. Ethereum just above 3,200. We got some unemployment data that came out today. We got payroll, income, non-farm, that type coming in also. And Bitcoin still hasn't hit a new all-time high. What the hell am I talking about? You're going to find all that out and more today on Piper Academy. Classes in session. Let's get it. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Piper Academy. I'm your host, Army Piper. We come at you every single Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, and the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Guys, thanks for joining us today. If you guys are curious about what that thumbnail meant, that we have not hit a new all-time high, I'll give you a hint. It has to do with all-time value, not all-time price. So we're going to get into that. But guess what? I got the whole damn team back together today. Oh, and OC's still not here. Well, I got part of the team together today. What's up, man?
I got
he's
the
not there either.
whole.
That's okay. You know what? We're going to use it here with the placeholder for OC guy. Let me just go ahead and throw on little OC here, because we got to have OC in here. Let me find my Mexican spaghetti. Hold on one second. Mexican spaghetti. And I should have it here. There it is right there. Look here. We're just going to drop this up here, and there's OC on our thing today until we get him. He had some issues this morning, so he had to go back and fix it, and he's trying to come in right now. So there's OC until we get him up, guys. Let us know in the chat, is this an improvement or a less than stellar version of the OC guy? TradeFly, what are you doing, man? What
if we
what
could just get a AI to just like make this guy's mouth move as OC talks. We could just leave it up there.
You
can just do a voiceover.
Oh, good Lord. How was your trip?
It's good, dude. It's good, man. It's bittersweet to be home. Costa Rica is pretty cool. I do recommend you guys checking that out at some point in your lives. But being home is also nice too. Sleeping in your own bed, having your whole setup here again. I'm like looking around. I'm like, I got real estate. Like I got all this stuff to look at. So it's pretty cool, man. Hey, shout out to Hart, man. He said you got your playoff beard going, and I respect that because I do like me some puck. So there you go, man.
Hey, I'm just glad that you're back with your normal setup. We don't have to see your beds being made every morning. We don't have to worry about, 8-bit TradeFly on vacation. We are all vacationing too much. You took a vacation. OC took a vacation. I took a vacation. We vacation too much. We vacation too much. But let's go ahead and get into the news while OC is diving back in, guys. We got a lot of news to go over today. Bitcoin's just now breaking 67K, so that's pretty nice. Why is it doing that? We had a lot of economic data today, and the Dixie did some weird stuff, so we're going to look at that too. Let's jump over here, guys. Let's talk about the news. This is your daily news brought to you by Decrypted.tax, your daily trusted tax official. Check them out, guys. Link down below, 25% off. Get a free consultation. Crypto tax accountant and tax attorney. So he knows his stuff. Just go ahead and check him out. It's free. What do you have to lose? Let's jump in here and let's talk about the news today. I'm going to go ahead and look first here on the Fear and Greed Index. And I need to make this smaller. I wasn't even prepared. Look, it's Friday, man. It's Friday, and I'm ready to just enjoy the weekend with the family. So Fear and Greed Index coming in right now, guys, at 79. That is higher than it was yesterday. Yesterday, if you guys remember, the Fear and Greed was coming in as greed, and I think it was like 71 yesterday. So let's go ahead and take a look at the crypto bubbles. Crypto bubbles on the hourly getting some green in. Initially, we had a massive Dixie pump and everything pulled back, but since then we've now had this rally back up in the past hour, literally from the data that came out about an hour and 5 minutes ago. That economic data. Looking at core here, core up 9.2%. ENA still climbing, guys. The stable coin went down and then back up here. It is now sitting at 94 cents. What was it yesterday? I think it's down for the day. Yeah, down 13.9%. So the stable coin is not very stable. Just be careful with that thing, guys. Looking here also, let's just go ahead and look at the daily. On the daily, we're still red. So you guys can see Jupiter down 15.9%. If you have not watched the video on Jupiter, TA Tim over at Investing Bros just put out a really interesting video on Jupiter about how it could become the decentralized native token for decentralized application exchange. And so you guys should check that video out. It's over on Investing Bros. Jumping back to the hourly, stacks up 2.7% here. MNT up 4.1, near up 3.3. Let's just slide down here and take a look. You can see most things are still in the red. For the daily and the weekly. The ones that are not, Toncoin, Bitcoin Cash, they just had their halving event. And then Mantle down here really doing well, 4.1% the past hour. So anything moved that we should know about? Yeah, Avalanche dropped a spot. Toncoin moved up to the number 10 spot. That's pretty interesting. Chainlink is now number 16. Tron up at number 15. So that went up one. Chainlink went down one. Near Protocol up now to 19 from one position below. It was at number 20. So any other big movers here? I don't think so. Arbitrum moved up 2 spots to number 30. So that's pretty interesting. It is up 1.3% for the hour, down 7.4 and 13.4 for the daily and weekly. Jumping over here to the liquidations, guys. If we take a look what's going on in the liquidation world, we had in the past 24 hours, 89,644 traders liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $266.3 million. The largest single liquidation happened on OKX. It was Ethereum. It was $6 million. So, you know, you could be like that too. If you got $6 million to lose on a liquidation with no stop loss, go for it. Do your thing. Economic calendar. Here is the data that came out today, guys. Let's give it a refresh here. There we go. Non-farm payrolls. I was like, I know that data's already come out. Where are you at? Non-farm payrolls right here, guys. It was 270,000 previous month. Consensus was that it would come in at 200K, forecasted to be at 200K, came in at 303K. We're going to take a look at X marks the spot. There's actually some data on this. Kabisi Letter did a pretty good breakdown. Unemployment rate, though. You guys remember, I said we really needed to see unemployment be at 3.9 or higher in order to start to get rate cuts and all that to happen. As of right now, unemployment dropped 0.1% to 3.8. And that being said, means that we probably are getting further away from any rate cuts. So this is going to be higher for longer, absolutely. Average hourly earnings month over month came in as expected, and then the average hourly earnings came in as expected. So let's jump over here and let's see what we have from the Kabisi Letter on the breakdown for this. Come here, Kabisi Letter. Let's do this. Got a whole thread going here, guys. So Kabisi Letter said, breaking, U.S. adds 303,000 jobs in March. Expectations were going to be 212, so that comes in higher than that. The unemployment rate fell 0.1%, 3.8%, below the expectation of 3.9. This means that the U.S. economy has added jobs for 39 consecutive months. How can the Fed cut interest rates right now? Because what he's saying there is, if the economy is looking strong and labor force is looking strong, the Fed does not need to reduce those interest rates, meaning that they can continue to fight on the interest, on the inflation. There's the word. And I see OC is back. We're going to check and make sure that everything's working for him in just a second. Yet another strong jobs report along with the rise in CPI, PPI, and PCE inflation, because inflation has been going up. And now with this, it says it's clear that higher for longer is officially back. So that is what we have there on that data. And then lastly, I do have a little piece of news here. Let's jump over here. Bitcoin short-term holders go on a 1.2 million Bitcoin buying spree. Is retail finally here? And so this article, we're going to talk about this in just a second, guys. So this article is talking about that since December 2023, there has been a buying spree accumulating over 1.2 million Bitcoin. And this is short-term Bitcoin holders. Bitcoin has received major interest from investors since the beginning of the year, and rightly so. While the cryptocurrency has gone through an extended period of bullish action, the majority of accumulation trend has been largely attributed to wells and addresses that hold a lot of Bitcoin. But recently, data from Glassnode has revealed an interesting accumulation trend among short-term holders. It is ones with small amounts, and their profit taking is outsizing losses by 50x. So that is what I have there, guys. Let's talk about that. Oh, I can remove OC here because he's back. He's back, baby. There we go. Let's just cut that right there. Bam. OC, what's up, dude? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Just have a catastrophic failure and anything wanted to work with me. Needed to reboot like 4 times, but still back. Back, baby.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you here. We got the whole family. The whole family's together again on Friday. What do you guys think about this? We were seeing a lot of accumulation that was coming from big accounts, big wallets, right? And now we're starting to see these little micro buys. Is that indication that the wells, that retail is back? What's your guys' thoughts on that? You're muted, bro.
Cricket. I mean, I didn't know we were going me or OC, man. I thought he was feeling the flow, baby. So it's back and forth, right? We had the ETFs, right? The ETFs came out this year, so there was a lot of buying that was happening. Plus, retail is going to kind of jump in on that as well. People will start going on Coinbase just with that announcement itself. Start using different exchanges to also purchase Bitcoin because Bitcoin's back in the news and people are starting to feel a little bit more safe about getting into cryptocurrencies and using centralized exchanges again, right? Because the FTX fiasco is kind of behind us. So, I'm not surprised by that, but we also saw the numbers on the blockchain that people were actually taking profits. It was one of those times where many people that were exiting their trades or exiting, or selling off their Bitcoin were actually in profit. And that was a pretty big, I'll say, sell-off too, right? So we saw that. We saw it on the charts. We saw it in price action. And now we have the U.S. government looming over our heads as well. So, it's kind of a give and take right now. We're kind of in a weird, I'd say, holding pattern of sorts. If you get it, you get it. But, I would like to see kind of a range and consolidation, to kind of get an idea of where we're going to go from here. But that's just kind of what I'm seeing and thinking.
Awesome. OC, what do you think? Retail, are they back yet? Or are they still, we still got yet to see the retail rush? What do you think?
Oh, we still got to get to see the retail rush. I mean, for us to get all the way to at least 3x, which will get us somewhere around 100x, we need to see retail action, right? And I mean, we know that despite the institutional money kind of give us that big kick that we're looking for, expecting, we also know that retail is a driving power behind everything here. Because at the end of it all, we also know that retail is also a little bit of the fuel of that institutional money. Because when they start opening up the ETF, you and I can still purchase that ETF, adding into that fire, right? So I do still, I mean, if we consider or if we think that we are the top right now, and from now on we're going to the bear market, I believe that retail it already has done their job. But I firmly believe that we still had a long way to go, positive long way to go in an extended bull market, and retail will be maybe in 2 phases pushing us or driving us in, especially in FOMO situations.
Awesome. No, I agree. I don't think that they're fully in here yet. I do think that we still have more of them to come in. But I do want to go ahead and pull up the chart. We're going to show some stuff, what's going on with the Dixie this morning and Bitcoin. And then I want to talk about the thumbnail because it's probably confusing some people. I think it even confused TradeFly at first when he said, yeah, that makes sense. And then I showed him what I was talking about. And he's like, well, that wasn't what I was thinking. But yeah, that still makes sense. So we're going to be taking a look at that thumbnail. Let's jump over here, guys. Taking a look at the charts. Oh, I don't have OC in here. OC, where are you? Oh, where art thou, OC? There we go. OC in the house. Bam. So let's take a look here now and let's see what we're seeing on Bitcoin, guys. We do have a little pump here. We're pushing back on the 50 on these local fibs. If you don't know where these local fibs are at, I will show you right now. This was the high. This was the low. To pull these local fib lines, you can see that we had a lot of rejection that took place here on the platinum pocket. We came down. We touched the CME gap, guys. The CME gap is still sitting down here at about 63,740 for the closing of that CME gap. We have closed out part of it. That's why I've shrunk this down a little bit, but we bounced up and got a perfect rejection on the golden pocket. This is going to be right here yesterday after the show. And right now, I thought we were going to touch the 382. We did not touch the 382. We're getting a little bounce up this morning and breaking above that dynamic reactor, pushing above that 50. If we get above this 50 and close it, then I do think we're going to come back up to retest the golden pocket. Let's get rid of the Mexican spaghetti there. And let's pull up the oscillator, see how they're looking. Oscillator does look like we have a little bit of a curvature coming in here now. So maybe this is going to do a little wave up. A shout out to Lunar Beaches Crypto on that. And then also we do have the RSI making similar sized candles there, guys. I'm not seeing any indication yet that the RSI primed is ready to flip to the upside. Let's go take a look at the Dixie though, and I'll show you guys what happened here this morning. We have a nice little trade, broadening wedge, really. It's not really a channel. There's a broadening wedge going on here. It's a little bit wider at this point than it is down at this point. And what happened this morning was, as soon as that data came out right off of this trend line, long running trend line going back here to the 8th of March, we hit that data that came out this morning. And because it was not bad data, I told you we needed to break 3.9 or higher on unemployment in order for the markets to get bullish, not the Dixie. Right now, this is saying the people are still afraid of the investments. They are risk off. They're in the Dixie. And while we're seeing a move right now on Bitcoin and Ethereum moving to the upside, we're seeing a lot of stuff green on the hourly. It is very possible that this sentiment will play out today and we will see a retracement back down. I'm still expecting to see that Bitcoin does come back to close out the CME gap, which would also be ironically right there on a test of the 236. Now, what are you seeing? You got your liquidation chart up, TradeFly? Because I'd like to see what you're seeing on the liquidation chart.
On the heat map?
Yeah, the heat map. Yeah,
Yep,
sorry. Thanks.
Yeah, so it kind of aligns. If you're expecting a retracement, what I see on the liquidation heat map is a hot zone. And we talked about this, I think, a couple days ago. I was like, don't be surprised to see a wick down here. But really, the area that I was more concerned about, or not concerned about, but where I thought price action would actually go for the maker is right around here, all the way up to about 68.2, I believe is what I said. It did press a little bit higher, but now look where we're at, right? It's kind of cold up here, not a lot of liquidity sitting, but we do have this hot spot down at about 64.4. So, you know, once we get to the charts, I'll take a look-see and kind of see how that lines up on the charts as well. But that's your hot spot. Short term is right around 64.5 is the area to keep an eye on.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's, you said 64.5?
Correct. 64.5.
So that would be right back here on my chart. It would be sitting right here at this retest. It still would be at the top of that CME gap. I actually think
so that's the top side of the liquidity. It goes all the way down, yeah. I'd say probably to about 63.35.
And that would close the CME gap. There you go, guys. So that's it right there. So let's jump over here and let's talk about the stuff that we wanted to reference. First off, shout out to Alexander G in the house, and we also had someone asking. John Foster Crypto said, "Yo, Alexander G, do you know anything about the Palau Digital ID?" So Palau Digital ID, for those that don't know, you can go to the websites .gov Palau. You should look up Palau Digital Residency ID card. And yeah, you pay like $250, I think it is, or might be a little bit more. I know Crypto Billy's got it. By the way, guys, in the chat, as soon as you see Crypto Billy in here, unless he's already in here, has anybody seen him? If you have, let me know. If not, then as soon as you see him pop in today, I understand today is Crypto Billy's birthday. So you guys have got to push that out to him and give him a happy birthday when he drops in here. But yeah, you can get that. He's got that Palau ID card and you guys can get that. If you have that, you can KYC on exchanges that do not allow U.S. residencies because you have dual residency, not citizenship, and it does not affect anything on your U.S. side. So there you go. That is the information on that, John. I hope that helped you. But Lou said something here, and he said people do not. The problem is most people do not realize how cheap Bitcoin is right now, and it's actually really cheap because we're going to go ahead and look at this this math and this reasoning of why we have not hit a new all-time high yet. It's going to be real simple, guys. If we go and take a look at the chart, let's take a look at the chart here. Let's go to this chart. There we go, and we can look back here and we can see that the last high was November 2021, and it was going to be coming in at about $69,000 on the dot. Matter of fact, you look up here at the top right here where it says high, and it's going to tell you 69K. This is based on Bitstamp. So let's take that and let's jump over to this scene and let's see what we're seeing here. If we look here, this is 2021, $69,000, okay? In 2024, that $69,000 in 2021 is actually $79,878. I still don't have OC in here. Let me pull him in here real fast. We didn't have time to get them all in because we were having issues this morning, but it's okay. 79,878 is the all-time value of Bitcoin, not the all-time price, the all-time high value. So in order for us to actually be able to say that we have set a valuation that is greater than the previous valuation of one Bitcoin equaling one Bitcoin, it would have to be $79,878. Let's jump back to the chart here and let's take a look at where that would be at here. $79,800 would put us about at the top of this golden pocket right now. Until we hit that, yes, we may have set a new all-time high price, but we have not set a value of one Bitcoin equaling one Bitcoin that is greater than what it was in 2021. Let's jump out here to the trio cam. Guys, let us know in the chat. What do you think? Has Bitcoin set a new all-time high, or does inflation count like we count it with everything else on Bitcoin too? And Bitcoin right now is under its all-time high. We still have yet to hit it at the top of the golden pocket, but I'd love to hear TradeFly, OC, your guys' input on this. What are your thoughts? We'll go with OC first. Since he's got a microphone, let's talk.
Absolutely. So I think you are asking me a tricky question, and I know you are on purpose. You want us to get into the trap because you're talking about inflation on a deflationary asset, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
how is this going
exactly.
to
I am.
affect
Yes.
I got it. I only failed once in that hole, brother.
You're on it, OC. But what do you think? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, absolutely. We still had a long way to go. I mean, the valuation, of course, is going to be increasing as we also see price increasing, but we need that fire started. And that fire started for me is going to be the halving event. When we see the halving event, when things start getting like less production, it's like it's going to be oh snap, there is now less Bitcoin, right? And then in the meantime, when people start getting money and then getting it, well, then that's exactly when we have that little range on price after the halving event, and then finally we break up. So absolutely, I believe that inflation is not a thing right now on Bitcoin. It could be, and I am expecting to be on the US dollar and all world currencies. Why? Because this will also add to the driven movement to the upside on Bitcoin and the valuation based on a inflationary asset, which is fiat.
All right. Good take on it. Good take. TradeFly, your thoughts on this, bro. Let's hear your thoughts. Is one Bitcoin equal one Bitcoin? If that's the case, are we still under the all-time high of the previous Bitcoin cycle? Do we base it on price or do we base it on value? Because the goal that we're going for is one Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. And that would mean we are not at an all-time high yet. So let's go. What's your take?
It depends on how you look at it, man. Like it really does. Like it's the eye of the beholder. Because for me as a trader, I really don't care about one Bitcoin being one Bitcoin, to be perfectly honest with you. Like I'm in it to make money. Like, and that's my personal take. So I care about how it equates to USD when I get into that transaction or that long position. Where do I exit? And what kind of USD did I make in the middle of it? You know, call me a Trumper because he likes the dollar. So do I. I mean, that's in state for me is like, I'm trying to make money with this because
I
I
thought you liked
personally,
gold.
yeah, I love gold.
There you
But
go.
seriously, yeah, where is that? Bring that
I
to
haven't
me.
got it yet. I
But
don't
no,
have it yet.
yeah, that's my thing, honestly. Like, if I was holding it long term, which I'm not, and I've told you guys, I've been very transparent with you. I was holding it when it was coming off of its previous all-time high. That's when I exited. I shifted that into real estate. Now I'm building my portfolio back up, which I'm happy to say is above 20K now. So this is good. So we're moving in the right direction. But that's how I am. I'm just slowly building it. But in state, man, like for me, like I want to retire. I want to chillax. I want to be Army Piper going down to the islands, like
You were
fine.
just down there. You were just down
Yeah,
there, literally.
maybe I was. Maybe I was. But I want to buy some fancy rings for my wife too. I want to make her happy. So, that's in state for me, honestly. So I mean, that's how I feel. But you know what? On another note, special shout out to my boy Alex O, my twin. What's up? It's me. It's me versus you next week, baby. We are frenemies now. Matter of fact, OC,
Oh,
man,
see,
we might not. We ain't gonna be friends next week either, bro.
hey, you two, look, you two
Oh,
get
come
along and
on,
play
come on.
nicely
By the
with
way,
Alex O and Jenna.
Yeah, game
yeah,
on,
by the
game
way,
on.
shout out to Trader Wars because I've been very, very, very sick and I was not able to complete my sign up just now. I'm gonna complete it today, so not just yet. I haven't
Yeah.
submitted my UID, but
All right,
maybe,
slacker. We'll
maybe
wait for
I'm
you. Hey, speaking of Jenna, it's just a side note. So my baby girl, she saw the poster, the Trading Wars poster, and she saw Jenna, and she was like, "There's a girl on the show?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's Jenna," and she was like, "I want to meet Jenna."
My wingman, Jenna X. She's awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
so that'd be cool,
I
man.
guess I guess she might be your wingman, on this show. Maybe you guys can, be like, look, we both come from this aviation world. Let's work this out and
Yeah, yeah. I'm
take
gonna have
on
a
the
lot of
team.
friends on the show, man.
I know
It's going
this
that
Trade Wars
should
is
be the
going to be
final
dope.
four.
If you guys aren't tracking Trade Wars next Monday on Crypto Wars, Keeper is going to be over there running that show, and OC guys competing in it. TradeFly is competing in it. Jenna X, Alex O Crypto. It's going to be an amazing show, so you guys need to go check it out. Everyone wants to be Army Piper. That is not true, Crux. No one wants to be me. Trust me. I'm broken and falling apart. Blackie Chan said, inflation counts. I've brought that up for a while. Year over year, inflation makes the all-time high need to be around 80K. And yep, that's exactly what we're seeing here. Let's go ahead and jump into some TA. I think it's time to get into some technical analysis and start showing people what we're seeing on these charts. Which one of you guys wants to go first? Who's ready? Who's ready?
Send it, man. Let's do it.
All right, TradeFly, let's go, bro.
Let's go. Let's look at Bitcoin here on the 4-hour chart. So one of the things that I stole from the Chart Prime community, I don't know if you guys are tracking on NASDAQ. I think it's 75 is the numbers he has. But what I was trying to mimic is his settings, right? Because he does a lot of trade calls, and this man is phenomenal. So one of the big, we'll say, benefits of getting into the Chart Prime community, if you guys end up paying for it, is getting into some of these trade calls and learning how these guys are doing it. So grand scheme of things, a 4-hour chart, it is setting up a symmetrical triangle, but I am actually looking at a little
Hey,
bit different area of support.
real
Go ahead.
fast, real
Yeah.
fast. I think it's funny. I have that same trend lines on my chart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah.
the cool thing for you guys, like if you're new, like and you're just getting started and you're having a hard time recognizing some of these patterns, well, Chart Prime actually will print these patterns for you, which is really, really cool. And you can adjust the time frames too, right? So you can bring it in so that it's on smaller time frames. Like if you look at this on the 2-hour, it's actually already broken out of that pattern and it already hit its take profit one. So really, really cool and super beneficial, especially for you guys that are learning, right? It'll help you find some confluence between what you're seeing on the charts and what is actually happening on the charts. But let's go back, right? And so Army Piper pointed out this area right here of support, and this is really what I'm keying on is this area because you see multiple touch points that's really honoring that area. And it just so happened to kind of line up with the 382, which we were talking about. I was telling you that was kind of my last ditch effort to find some support here. And what I was looking for is a rejection off of the 200. SMA here, which is this pinkish moving average coming through. So it actually broke through, and I wasn't expecting it to break through with as much strength as it did, but it doesn't surprise me that we found a rejection here at about 69, we'll call it 2, and that's just going back on the chart, right? Look, where you see resistance, broke through, big breakthrough. You see this wick comes down, retest, breaks down. All right, so that's confirmation for me that this area is pretty, significant. I just didn't think we were going to make it up there. So definitely an area that we now have to keep an eye on. We're kind of building a range of sorts here, between, we'll say 65, 600 and about 69.3. So I wouldn't be upset about that. But if the price does come, this is what I want you guys to keep an eye on. If the price comes back down to here, to this trend line right here, keep an eye on that. Definitely keep an eye on that, and come down to the prime oscillator and see what that's doing. Again, you want to see that trending up and right, or at least starting to twist up and right, because that could be a potential entry for a short, we'll say a short play, kind of intraday scalp type trade. I would definitely be looking at that. And then we got to retest this area. Obviously, this is holding up. So if we get up to 69.2, 69.3, and you see multiple touches on that. So here's your first one. If you see a second one, and then you come down to the prime oscillator, or RSI, if you're using that, and let me draw this for you so you can see what I'm actually talking about. You may see something like this. Now, if you see something like that, what you're starting to see is a trend down and right. All right, if you see that down and right trend and a second touch here, that means it's not as strong coming into that second touch. I would expect a rejection personally. So that's the two areas that I'm personally looking at. This is completely short term. I'm not zoomed out, not making any long-term predictions here, but definitely 65.6 and 69.2, maybe a little under that, are two areas that I'm keeping an eye on short term.
All right, awesome. OC, what you got, bro?
I got also Bitcoin here, and I'm looking at this area right here. Remember that previous classes I was looking at the dynamic reactor, at the possible entry zone right here and bouncing zone, because we had this overbought and reversal flip of the ribbon. And then there was two scenarios. The first scenario was right here on this area, so bouncing below or at the bottom of that zero line, which will be indicating a further movement to a downside. And the second scenario will be a bounce or a flip of the ribbon at the top of that zero line. If we had that bounce at the top of the zero line, that will still give us right now a little bit of a chance to come back up at previous prices. Sorry. Something that also is happening right now is that we have a dog face formation playing out at this point. So you can see that we can go, yes, a goose head right there. So right here, we can even draw him out a little bit in here, and that usually gives me continuation to the upside. So that is giving me a little bit of hope that we're going to be drawing a trend line here for a counteracting this downward movement. And for me, this will be somewhere around where we're going to be seeing that bounce. In fact, almost confirming if we close above this area and closing within or above the dynamic reactor, we basically seal this movement right here, basically mimicking something like this one going down, making the retest, building up that trend line, and then going to visit the top of the channel so far. Remember that I'm looking at this channel in here, and I'm expecting it to be a Wyckoff channel. Let me see if I have them a little bit more pieced out. Wyckoff channel, and it seems I don't, but that's all right. So I'll do it right now. So at this point, remember that the Wyckoff channel that I'm expecting, it's a little bit shorter. It basically goes all the way down here, basically almost hitting the bottom, and therefore an overextension down here, and this overextension up here. So basically just oscillating, shorter. Remember also yesterday that I was telling you guys that I will be willing to short the Bitcoin price, my second short of the season, right here at this price action right here. If we start hitting these trend lines, seems like we have not yet reached those trend lines, and that we are basically steer the way to go. So there's something happening here. Again, I just want to make sure that we understand what am I pointing out, which is if I see the flip of the ribbon to the upside, we're going to be generating this trend line and then going back up somewhere around here. If we fail this trend line or this zero line and we break it back down, I'm going to be looking at this area of support. That's what I got on Bitcoin. and I'm still on a no trading zone, as TradeFly mentioned.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's jump over here to my chart. We had a request for FLUX. Let's go check out FLUX. Well, well, we had a nice head and shoulders up here. Who was it that said this? It was C90 FTW. He said, "Let's see FLUX. I don't own any." So, yeah, we had this nice little left shoulder head and right shoulder here. That line coming in right there for that, and then of course, if we don't go and do a measured move on this, we'll just do it from the candle closes here. Let's see what this looks like. That would be a little bit lower than what we're sitting right now. And the charts are looking like we would be setting for that. Here's why. One, on the Oscillator Pro, we did have a rejection off that zero line. That's that yellow line running across the center. Anything, it zeroes out. So below it's negative numbers. Above it, it is positive numbers. We did get that rejection on the zero line there. Also, we got a touch and rejection off of that dynamic reactor. Let's go throw on some. Let me get rid of all the Mexican spaghetti and trend lines. Let's go throw on some fibs and see how we're looking with fibs on here and a fixed range volume profile. See if there's any hope for this getting a little bit of catches there for support. We're going to take this from the low to the high. And there we go. Yeah, you can see our rejection was in the golden pocket. Fantastic. Right now we are testing that platinum pocket right there. If we do go down and hit that target that we were talking about, I do believe it's going to be coming in somewhere right here around this 887, the bottom of the platinum pocket there. And then let's go and throw on a fixed range volume profile, see if we have any confluence to go with that. We'll take this whole period here from the last low. We are sitting below the value area low, so we've lost the value area high. We've lost the point of control, and now we have lost the value area low. I could easily see this coming down to test that 887. And again, as we were talking about up here, let's get that real quick just to give it a quick eyeball, a dirty eyeball here. Yeah, it's going to be pretty close to that range of the platinum pocket bottom there. So I do see FLUX having some more downside here. Not financial advice, just what I'm seeing. On that chart. So guys, let us know in the chat what you guys would like to see for some altcoins, and we'll get those going for you here. Try to get you guys some TA. I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to TradeFly now.
Right on. Yeah, so just saw a VANRY as a request. So I'm kind of pulling that up. So we're going to do that together. So here we go. So you guys can kind of see some of the magic in the background here. Let's go to the fib retracement. Let's go low to high here. Boom. All right. So looks like it found a little bit of support on the 0.5. So that's all Gucci. But when I went to, I believe it was the 4-hour chart. Let me take a look at that. Yeah. What I don't like on the 4-hour chart right now is that we're on the bottom side of the dynamic reactor. We're on the bottom side of the 200 SMA. Again, this is 4-hour, but we're on the bottom side of all the moving averages. And I've talked about that before. So if I get on the bottom side of all the moving averages, that's not an area for me to go long personally. That kind of scares me off a little bit, because you can see right here, this area of support where the 382 is at about 0.26, we'll call it. There was a lot of support in this area. You can see multiple touches here, and then it finally broke down. So it came back up, and actually you see the retest right there. I'll go ahead and highlight that for you. Maybe I'll make this a little bit bigger for you too. Right click, get out of that. Here we go. All right. So, that kind of scares me off. I'm going to be honest with you. Breakdown, retest, and then we get under the moving averages. The dynamic reactor has flipped red as well. So for me, if I was going to have a bias on looking at this and looking at a series of lower highs, I would say there's more potential for downside than there is upside. If I was going to be a guessing man, not saying this 0.5 can't hold up, because it certainly can. But this is just not an area that I would think about going long right now, just giving all the other factors. Now, if this looked a lot different and the moving averages were underneath of it and the dynamic reactor was still green, that would say to me that there's potential that it could have continuation to the upside, and you want to definitely be on top of the 200 SMA. So again, that's kind of all the factors that are kind of scaring me off of looking at a long entry. Plus, we had a pretty big move up, right? Like, this is a 4-hour chart. So if you go back to right here, we're talking February. And if you're looking at right here before this big move up, that's March. So, I mean, that's not a long time to have a 390% move up. And now we're getting that cool down. So this is still, if you got in somewhere in that range down here, you're still up 178 cents. 178%. That's not bad. personally, like looking at this right now, I think we're more likely to pull down to the golden pocket, just given that we're underneath of all of this. So right here, keep an eye, obviously, on 0.22. That's an area of interest, obviously, because it is acting as support right now. But you got to get through all these moving averages before you can feel comfortable about going long on this. You want to get on the top side at least of the dynamic reactor and the 200 SMA. Probably what I would more so like to see is get over top of the 0.382 at about 26 cents. You see that. Once it gets up here and we get in this range again, because you can see this is a pretty good range, that's where you want to be before you're looking at continuation up and right. That's where I would feel comfortable. Right now, I'm just not. So right now, again, 2 areas to look for. You got the golden pocket here at about 18 cents. And then this is the other area. And I'm not saying we're going up here, but what I'm saying is to keep an eye on this area just to get over top of it. Once you get over top of it, then you look for that retest, and then boom, you'll look for that continuation of the upside. Right now, bias for me is probably to the downside.
All right. I appreciate that, man. Let's go ahead and pull up what I'm watching here. Let me get this going. Actually, OC, what do you got for us? We'll kick it to you, and then I'll come back and look at what I'm looking at here. What do you got up? You got, oh, there you go. That's what I had up too. Go for it. You got it.
I got Jupiter here. So guys, I remember that our last entry was all the way right down here at 83. So we're still on profits. This was an entry for our holding back. Nonetheless, also we also had this pennant. We were looking at 2 possibilities: a breakout pennant, and also we had predictive ranges there, looking at this purple area, this purple line, which acted at resistance, and we had at that point 2 possibilities: either a double top or a push to the upside. We had a double top and a regression. I'm going a little bit piecing out this analysis because something alike is happening where we have a figure and also we have a big support. So something is building up in here. We need to be careful with Jupiter. So far we've seen this playing out, and right now if we go farther into the charts and I start turning things on, well, before I turn things on, we can see we had a head and shoulders formation, and also we had a beautiful neckline here. It's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, and off we go. So far seems like that neckline is almost completed for the target, and that will get us, as you might already notice, at the dynamic reactor. So very nice dynamic reactor there for the support. We are below the 0 line, which is what I don't like to see here. It's still bullish because we're above the dynamic reactor, but it's also something on something else happening here. We have a bunch of support. This is a big crazy support, right? So let me just remove that. And this is going to be a big crazy support, but also there's something else happening here, which is if we start turning on my range, look at that range, and we have a low volume breakout, but it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, and we'll see if when we start flipping back down, we can hold it once again. Hopefully we do. We make a double bottom, and then we rocket all the way to the moon at these areas right here. But so far, looking at this area, if you're looking for an entry, this is a good entry point for holding, not for trading. And you will be maybe, and this is not financial advice, but also if you're looking for trading and maybe leverage, you will need to wait, or I would wait for a confirmation here at least for a bounce, and then going very short to the bottom of my range for a retest, hold my maybe at least 50% out, and then moving my stop to entry. So if in case it flips back down, I am out of the trade and I don't go visit the next big support, because the next big support, and let me bring up, where are you? I don't have them on hand. Seems like my support resistance don't want to play out. But my next big support, it's all the way down at this area here. So yeah, careful with Jupiter. I'm invested in Jupiter. I like Jupiter. I have high hopes for Jupiter. That doesn't mean I'm gonna let it strangle me. So yeah, that's what I got on Jupiter.
Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and bring up Chainlink right now, and we're going to talk about some Chainlink. One thing that I want to point out here, I've got these old parallel channels, and I'm looking back in history here now for a reason. This was our channel that we were trading in. You guys know, here, let me get this right. Can't do chain link without my chain link hat, guys. Sorry, I gotta switch out here. There we go. You guys know I was talking about this chain link trading channel. It likes to trade in these ranging channels a lot. This is the previous range. This is the top right here, and this is the bottom of this range that you could just scalp up and down, top to bottom. Well, we broke out of it and we started creating a new range up here. And so let me turn off the, well, I'll leave it on for a second just to show you why. We were back into a new trading range. Well, you can see that when we've broken this, we have come down to test this previous trade range down here. Something that I'm going to be watching here closely is I also have this green line down here that I said, hey, if we do come down here, watch for this to test what it looks like on the 19th of March. We came down and bounced cleanly on that. Let me get rid of the Mexican spaghetti here, and we'll show you how clean that bounce was on the previous range top in that green T box there. I would expect to see that we could be heading down to test that level again, giving us another bounce there. But if you guys look at the long-term trend line here, let me put this on a daily and I'll show you guys what's going on here. We've had this trend line that goes all the way back to 17 November of 2023 that had been resistance and support for us. At some point in the near future, I do believe that we are going to see the price of Link bounce and take its return back up to that trend line. Guys, that move, if it was, say it was sometime down and hit this level and it happened sometime in the next couple of weeks, that would be an 80% or 60% move on Chainlink. And that would be very, very profitable if you got into that trade. So nice little swing trade set up there on Link. I do think that we're going to see it play out at some point when we start to see the markets rally back up. I do believe we're going to revisit that. And I do think that right now, looking at the daily, that range that I'm talking about there, it's also coming in on the daily dynamic reactor. And the dynamic reactor on the daily is super, super powerful. So looking at that, let's take it back to the 4 hour. Let's pull up the oscillators, see what the oscillators are telling us. And here we go. Let me get that back into there. Ha. Welcome back, Chainlink. We are starting to get an overbought down here. However, we have not, or oversold, my bad, have not printed the OS yet. And one thing to note there is that we can get on the 4 hour multiple of those, and you see it continue to go down, creating that bullish divergence. We had one there, gave a little pump up, rejected out of that T-box zone above. And I do think that we're going to see this come back down here and test into that, don't do that. Come back here. Thank you. Test back into that level of that top range here. I got some fib retracements. Let's see what those are coming in at. We do have the 50 sitting below us. So if we do that, I do think it would be a quick wick below to that range and back up there, guys. That's what I'm seeing on Chainlink right now. Everything's looking pretty decent on it, but I would feel much better getting in at about $16.57 on that long entry. So let's kick it over to you, TradeFly. That's Chainlink. Let's see what you got up. You got Render. All right, sweet. Let's go.
I do. I got Render up. So I obviously previously talked about this because I see this little support area that I've highlighted. So that was an area of concern. Kind of looking at it on the charts, you could see multiple touch points here on that area, which made it pretty easy for me. You see resistance as well. So we actually got a breakdown of that area. So unfortunately for Render, I'm not very excited about that looking at the chart right now because not only did you get that breakdown where it lost that support area, but you got the retest right here. So OC's old retest right there, and it's underneath of the dynamic reactor. All bad signs. And then the 0.5, you can see that it was using that as resistance, and now it fell into the golden pocket. Now, there's a couple things with the golden pocket, because usually we get pretty excited about things getting into the golden pocket, but this is one of those times where I'd say I'm not as excited. And the reason is I come down to the prime oscillator, I'm looking at that, and I don't like the way this looks. That's 45 degrees down and right. I'm just not a big fan of that. So for me personally, looking at this and just looking at the series of lower highs, I just not a huge fan. Like I don't mind when something goes up, it has a big spike up, and then it has a cool off and pulls back into the golden pocket. That one, makes sense to me. And usually you'll still see the dynamic reactor underneath of it. Like, so if this come up right here and it pulls back into the golden pocket, we're still on top of the dynamic reactor. We're still on top of the moving averages. Let me go ahead and show you what I'm talking about here. Boom. Look, you see how that's 200 SMA right here? And this is on the 4 hour chart. you see, like, if it came down into the golden pocket and like we found support right in this area, this would be an area I would get excited about. All right. This is not one of those times. This is the same setup as we kind of just looked at on one of the other altcoins here, but all the moving averages are on top. We got to retest the moving average. We got to retest the same. There's a lot of confluence here in this, and then you're struggling with the 0.5. We came down in the golden pocket, so it's hard to say. Like, I wouldn't personally go long here. That's just me. Like, yeah, can you miss an opportunity? Maybe, because it's in the golden pocket, and usually that's where we're like getting all excited. Yeah, but I would actually rather see a second test of this support area, and I want to see the rest of the market trending up and right as well. So this one is, yeah, you could lose out on a few percentage by kind of being conservative, but what I want to see is it come down, retest this area again, and look for that move up and right. But I also want to see that with the RSI. All right, so then I can come down here and I can look and I can see a trend up and right. So right now, I mean, you're starting to see it. Problem is, I mean, it is actually a little bit of divergence on the 4-hour where RSI is going up and then price is coming down. And then you can see like here and here, this point is actually higher. So, I mean, that's a start of a good sign. But again, for me, I'm a little bit more conservative with my trades. I don't just jump into something willy-nilly just because it goes into the golden pocket. I want to see kind of this start to hook up and right again. And give me some confirmation that this area of support is actually going to hold up. So here's your key areas. We're at one. All right. So we're at the golden pocket. We're at 8.9, anywhere between 8.7, 8.9. All right. We want to see another retest, or I want to see another retest personally in this area before I get a little more cozy with what's going on. And then obviously you have all of this confluence up here with moving averages, dynamic reactor, this previous level of support. This is going to be a key area right here where this green line is, this trend line, which is about 10.2, anywhere between, about 10.2, is going to be an area of resistance. I will put money on that. I'm more excited personally that it goes back up there and look at a short, because this is all lining up for me to say, hey, that's going to be an area of resistance. All right. So again, if you guys know my game, I like to look at areas where there's a lot of confluence. And if I come up here and retest an area of resistance, then I'd probably look for a 2 to 3% move to the downside initially. I'm looking for that initial rejection when I see a lot of confluence in an area. So that's pretty much what I would be looking at with this one. You got to get over that 10.2. And then right now, this is a key area for it to hold up. And again, I'm not 100% confident in that. So multiple touches in this area. Let's see what else we have. This area right here, obviously, that I have highlighted as well. If it does break down, don't be surprised to find some support here, because look at all the resistance here. Resistance, big breakthrough, right? So this is probably your biggest area of support if it's actually going to find some support. So if it breaks down from the golden pocket, which it very well could, this would be an opportunity, or at least a short like scalp trade or an intraday trade, because you're going to see, I'm not going to guarantee it, but you're likely to see some sort of reaction off of this area just based on the price action that we saw in here. Matter of fact, sorry, this one's a little bit longer, but let me pull up look at that. See, this is why I love this indicator. And again, I am going to do a video on it this weekend. I promise. I actually wrote the script on the airplane. I make use of my time. All right, here it is. So you can see there's volume associated with this area as well. All right, look at the volume associated here in the golden pocket, like none. All right, so that's why I think this area is a little bit more interesting for me. So that's what I got. A little bit long-winded, but kind of wanted to take you guys through my thought process if I'm looking at a trade or getting into a trade. And then again, here, looking at this area, look, you see all that volume again, right at about 10.3. So that all aligns with what I'm seeing on the charts. And you get further validation by using this indicator, which is the dynamic support and resistance zones by Chart Prime.
Awesome. Appreciate it, man. Dave Digital actually made a comment on that, and he said that there's a 4-hour inverse head and shoulders on the momentum. So he's probably looking at market cipher, but he said he's looking to long it up to $11.40. So looking at what you have there, that would be pretty good. Yep, 11.40.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I mean,
Yep.
again, we're at the golden pocket. I mean, that would be an area. If I just don't like what I see on the charts. I think the trend has a bias to the downside, and he's using a different indicator as well. But that's 1140 makes sense just looking at previous areas of resistance. It's actually probably a little higher. But yeah, right here you see these wicks coming off of about 11.7, and yeah, you could move it down. Yeah, I mean, fair game. Just put a stop loss, man. Put a
Yep.
stop loss under that golden pocket, and this is one of those times I'd highly recommend that.
Absolutely. All kinds of waves coming in there from Lunar Beaches. He's talking about all them waves. Guys, we're going to take a look at PYTH here. And then I got one article I'm going to touch on before we head out. And we'll talk about that on the way out. What I'm looking at here on PYTH, first off, we did have on the 4-hour a rejection here, multiple touches there of that dynamic reactor telling us, yes, that is a very strong level of resistance. And we are looking a little bearish. If I look at the fixed range volume profile here, I want to bring this back and we're going to bring this one into play. There we go. Looking at this fixed range volume profile here, guys, we do have the value area high, the point of control, and that value area low sitting well below us. But if we pull a new fixed range volume profile going from this range where we bounce down and back again, we are now losing and retesting right now as a rejection, the value area low. I could see this easily coming back down to this value area high, all the way down to that being about 53.5 cents. One thing I do want to point out, if I throw fibs on here, look at that. What's sitting right there? And it would be the bottom of the platinum pocket. So a lot of confluence sitting there at that level. That's coming in at about 54 cents on that platinum pocket. We do have right here below us, let me turn this off so you can see what we got going on. We do have the golden pocket here. If we lose this golden pocket, I'd be looking for an entry down here at this level in the platinum pocket. That would give us an opportunity to come down here really bury deep on that. You can see on the RSI primed, we can go much lower still on this. That range coming in right about there. So this still has plenty of room to go down, guys. Do not think that just because we got the one oversold block that this can't come down any further with those rejections coming off of that dynamic reactor, breaking the value area low of this short-term time frame, fixed range volume profile, and where that value area high of the pretty much the history of PYTH here, I would definitely be looking at 54 cents for a long setup on PYTH. Let's jump into Trio Cam real fast. Look at the chat here and see what anybody's saying. We did have someone say, it was Michael Mitchell, I believe, said it, that you guys make trading look easy. It's not easy. What is easy about it is spotting all of the stuff on the charts, guys. Once you understand TA and you have the right tools, you can look at it and go, oh yeah, I see it. It's right there. The hard part about trading is the discipline to follow your own rules and to have risk management. That is what gets people wrecked. Trading's easy. Trading successfully, following your own rules, that's the difficult part. Let's jump over here and let's take a look at the news article that I want to point out, that I want to bring up. This was from Plan B. Can you switch over there for me? There we go. This is from Plan B. He said Bitcoin targets $500,000 in the upcoming bull run, according to crypto analysts. No, it's not OC guy on the prediction video. This is Plan B saying this. Plan B has predicted that Bitcoin will reach 100. What's that?
I tipped them off.
Nice. Predicted that Bitcoin will reach $100,000 in 2024. And according to him, Bitcoin's target for the next bull run is $500,000. So I just wanted to bring that up. Let's talk this out here real fast on Trio Cam before we head out. Guys, $100,000 Bitcoin in 2024, yes or no?
100,000?
100,000 in 2024, this year.
I mean, you already know my prediction for this year. I gotta stick to my guns here. I call it 88. I think it could go up, maybe 94, 95. But I think 88 is kind of what I'm sticking with personally. And
okay,
that's, I gotta stay true to what I said, man. I'm not gonna.
Hey, I get it. I understand. OC, $100,000 this year.
I'll call for 90,000 maybe, but yeah, I do believe 100. Why not?
And then
for you, you got to get up 500K, man. You need to be like
no kidding,
200.
Right? OC, TradeFly, $500,000 Bitcoin in 2025. Thoughts?
No.
No, that's
Possibly
it.
yes.
OC.
Possibly yes.
Possibly yes. Okay, I think 500,000 might be a little overzealous, but I would not be surprised to see that come up to $100,000 and then reject. I think the psychological sell off at $100,000 will be substantial. Probably give us a nice 20% plus pullback at that level. So that's what I got. TradeFly. Okay, cool. TradeFly OC. What do you got for the people, man? It's Friday. Let's go.
I just froze. I don't know what happened.
You're
Can you hear
back.
me?
You're good.
I'm
You're
back.
good.
All right.
What do you got for the
Sweet,
people?
sweet. Oh, hey, as always, it's awesome mixing it up. It's Friday, so you guys enjoy the weekend. Have yourselves a couple of drinks. It's going to be dope. Let's do it. Hey, but I do want to make one little comment on what you said about your strategy. I'll keep it super quick, but I saw that on Frankie Cano's. He put a poll out, and that's super important to me. The strategy and sticking to a strategy for me has been where I found the most success. And that's why I'm very much of the mindset of using stop losses and letting the trade come to you. All right. I don't chase trades. If I miss it, I miss it. And I don't even get upset about it anymore. So stick to your strategy. I promise you that is when you'll be the most successful if you're doing either scalping or intraday or swing trading. Okay. So stick to that. If you're hodling, hey, by all means, buy when it's red, buy the dips, do your thing. That's all you. But if you're doing trading, then stick to your strategy.
Awesome. OC, what you got, bro?
Absolutely, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I do make a big deal when I miss a trade. I do get mad. I do like a little kid when no one is watching, and then I go online and pretend I don't care. But I do nonetheless stick to your yes. I need to get it out. But yes, guys, just stick to your strategy. Make sure you click that like button, because if you do, the temperature of beer will drop 2 degrees. Don't believe me? Try it out for yourself. And
Awesome.
guys, right back to you, Piper.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for joining us today. Make sure that you guys follow all of these people on X here. That would be Piper Academy, myself, OCG, TradeFly, and Crux of Crypto. Go give us all a follow over there. Always dropping stuff on X over there. And then also, guys, if you want to make your trading a little bit easier, check out Chart Prime. You get 45% off your first monthly or quarterly. And matter of fact, we were supposed to do it today, so we're going to do it Monday morning. We're giving away 1 month of Chart Prime so that you guys can check it out. If you already have it, you can gift it to another alumni member. But you get like 6 hours of education a week on the Chart Prime Discord from OC and from Alex O Crypto. So you guys need to go check it out. They give free classes and you get the most powerful indicators in the market, guys. So go down and check out the link below. Get 45% off the biggest discount in the market. We appreciate you guys joining us here today. Folks, if you haven't done so, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell, and get notified every time we go live. We'll be back here Monday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, and the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit, guys. Till then, as always, trade safe and use a stop loss.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. TradeFly, get the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, Crux Crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have, step fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. Sound off.
To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude!